Your phone just went silent. Not dead, silent. Instagram won't load. Google is blank. Your bank app is frozen. You try to send a message. Nothing. At first, you think it's an outage, but it's not. The internet is gone. Everywhere. And you won't understand how serious that is until the first thing you desperately need is suddenly impossible to access. 01. The first 10 minutes. For the first few minutes, almost nobody realizes that anything truly serious has happened. Your phone is still on, the screen lights up, your Wi-Fi symbol is still there, electricity is still running through your home, the lights work, the refrigerator is humming, your computer starts normally. So you do what millions of other people do, you assume it's a regular outage. You refresh Instagram. Nothing. You open Google. Nothing. You check your messages. Still nothing. Maybe you restart your router. Maybe you turn airplane mode on and off. You blame your phone company. You check your Wi-Fi settings. Someone nearby probably thinks their router has finally stopped working. And for a few minutes, that's exactly what the world believes. A technical problem. A temporary inconvenience. Something that will be fixed soon. But underneath, something else is happening. Something you can't see. The hospital can't reach its pharmacy database. The airline's booking system goes quiet. The stock exchange is still running, but the trades aren't confirming. Thousands of silent handshakes between machines are failing, and no alarm is ringing for it. There are no explosions, no citywide blackout, no warning sirens. Traffic lights still change. Coffee shops steam milk. Offices fill with people staring at loading bars that never finish. Everything looks normal, but the connections holding it together have already gone dark, and the consequences are still on their way. You just haven't heard them arriving, because the moment people stop assuming it's an ordinary outage, the first real consequences begin. And when they do, the problem is no longer your Wi-Fi. It's the world. 02. When money stops moving. At first, the internet outage still feels like an inconvenience. Then you try to pay for something. You walk into a store, pick up a few things and take them to the checkout. You tap your card. Nothing. You try again. Still nothing. The cashier checks the payment terminal. Someone behind you tries their card. Nothing. Then another person. Nothing. Suddenly, the problem isn't your phone anymore. It's your money. You have money, you just can't prove it. The register doesn't know your balance exists. The bank can't verify you. Your paycheck is a number on a screen that the screen can no longer reach. When the connection disappears, that invisible process begins breaking down. ATMs go dark. Online banking stops responding. Digital wallets can't complete transactions. Businesses can't confirm payments. And suddenly, something as ordinary as buying groceries becomes a problem. You might still have hundreds of dollars in your account, but standing at the checkout counter, that number doesn't matter if you can't access it. People begin trying different cards. They search for cash. They check their banking apps again and again, hoping the balance will suddenly become available. But the same silence remains. And this is where the situation starts becoming dangerous, because people don't need the internet only for entertainment. They need it for food, for fuel, for the medicine sitting behind a pharmacy counter that can't verify your insurance. For a few hours, businesses might simply close their digital systems and wait. But if the outage continues, patience starts disappearing too. Imagine walking into a grocery store where thousands of people are standing in line, everyone holding cards that suddenly don't work. Nobody knows when it ends. Nobody knows if their money is safe. And nobody knows how long they should wait before it stops being an outage and starts being something else. The terrifying part isn't that everyone has lost their money. It's that millions of people still have money but can't reach it. And once people realize that, the internet outage stops feeling like a technical problem. It starts feeling personal. Because the next thing people will start asking isn't, when will the internet come back? It's, what happens if it doesn't? 03.
The world can't talk to itself. Now the problem becomes bigger than money. The internet isn't just entertainment, it's the world's shared nervous system. And now it's quiet. Not just your phone, everything. You call a friend, the line rings, then dies. You turn on the television and find only scheduled programming, no breaking news, no updates, no answers. The radio plays music, but the hosts sound as confused as you are. You look out the window and see your neighbor doing the same thing, checking their phone, looking up, checking again. For the first time in years, billions of people are thinking the exact same thought at the exact same moment. Is this everywhere? How long? Did someone do this on purpose? And will it stop? Without the internet, there is no central place to check, no feed to refresh, no official account to trust. So the questions don't get answered, they just get louder. That's when the rumors start. Someone says it will be back in an hour. Someone else heard days. A coworker claims the banks have lost everything. Your cousin says the power grid is next. None of it comes with a source. None of it can be verified. And none of it disappears. In a connected world, a lie dies in minutes because 1,000 people correct it. Now, a single voice in a crowded room can become the only version of the truth anyone hears. Businesses face the same darkness. Employees can't confirm shifts. Customers can't ask if stores are open. Emergency services can't push updates to 1 million phones at once. The terrifying part isn't that nobody can post, it's that nobody can agree on what is true. For the first time, people aren't just disconnected from the internet, they're becoming disconnected from each other. And the longer that silence lasts, the more people begin preparing for the possibility that this isn't temporary. Because once people stop trusting what they hear, panic doesn't need to be real to become dangerous. 04. When cities start breaking. Now the problem leaves your hands and enters the systems that keep entire cities running. Because the internet doesn't just connect people, it's coordinated modern life. Your delivery driver is lost, not because he forgot the route, but because the route no longer updates. The warehouse doesn't know the truck is coming. The truck doesn't know the warehouse is full. The store doesn't know the shelf is empty until someone looks at it and sees nothing. Remove that connection, and these systems don't necessarily collapse instantly. They begin to drift apart. A delivery is delayed, then another. A warehouse doesn't receive an update. A truck arrives without the information it needs. A business can't confirm an order. A customer doesn't know where their package is. One delay creates another, and suddenly thousands of small problems begin stacking up on top of each other. Transportation becomes harder to coordinate. Businesses struggle to communicate with suppliers and customers. Logistics companies lose visibility over shipments. Restaurants and stores have trouble managing digital orders and inventory. Even systems that continue working physically can become increasingly difficult to coordinate without the information moving between them. And that's the part most people don't realize. The internet isn't the machine, it's the nervous system connecting the machines. When that nervous system disappears, the machines can still exist, but they no longer know what the rest of the system is doing. At first, you might only notice a late delivery, then an empty shelf, then a longer line, then a business that can't operate normally. None of these events alone looks like civilization is breaking, but together they form something much bigger, a chain reaction. And now the outage is no longer something happening on your phone, it's happening around you. The city still has electricity, cars are still moving, stores are still standing, people are still going to work, but underneath all of that, something much more important is beginning to break. Money stopped moving, businesses lost communication, supply chains began slowing down, information became uncertain, and eventually people themselves became the biggest variable, because the internet isn't just something we use anymore, it's something modern life has quietly built itself around. We don't think about it when everything works, we only realize how important it is when it suddenly disappears. The internet doesn't need to disappear forever to change the world. 24 hours was enough to show us how dependent we really are. But remember, this was only one day. What happens if the internet stays gone for 7 days? That's a question for another time. If you enjoyed following this scenario 3 steps ahead, subscribe to 3 Steps Ahead for more what-if stories that explore what happens after the impossible becomes real. And before you leave, ask yourself, if the internet disappeared tomorrow, would you actually be ready? 1 question, 3 consequences ahead. See you in the next one.